Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. DB333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich as the German Empire. Now, last video, we started figuring out who we were going to align with. Now, we have our government, of course. Meister Kurt von Schleicher. Which gives us some nice political power bonuses, some not so nice consumer good factory rate. It can't be dismissed, at least not yet. Kurt von Schleicher was born to a Prussian military family in 1882 and followed the same career as his father. From the beginning, he displayed a talent for social networking and an eagle eye for career advancement, quickly developing relationships with men such as Kurt von Hammerstein-Equard, Erich von Manstein, Franz von Papen, and Wilhelm Groner, classmates and colleagues who would all end up as powerful leaders in German society, whose connections Schleicher put to use. His first step came during the Weltkrieg when Schleicher, a staff officer, criticized war profiteering and endorsed socially progressive economic measures, earning the reputation of a pragmatic liberal. A protege of Groner, he served in the Kriegsamt to relative success. After the Weltkrieg, Schleicher developed another connection to aid in his advancement, Hans von Seeckt. The future chief of German General Staff used Schleicher as a useful and competent liaison between the OHL and the civilian government. Schleicher aided in the coordination of the Reichstag's government, and the desire of the military earned support among the parliamentarians and as one of the army's more pragmatic and socially progressive commanders, and continued developing networks. He scored a friendship with Crown Prince Wilhelm and drew himself closer to the Kaiser, then established a working relationship with Minister President Siegfried von Roedern, through which he was appointed the Prussian Minister of War in 1931. Though his health is slowly turning worse, Schleicher is at the peak of his power and influence by 1936, to the point of being considered as a natural compromise option for the Reichskanzler among German political circles. The true aim of the Red General, however, are known only by him. Interesting indeed. We also have the Reichskanzler in Prussia. Until 1923, the offices of Reichskanzler and Minister President of Prussia were one. It was expected of one to also be the other. This gave Prussia imbalanced power in the system and granted the Reichskanzler additional powers owing to their position in Prussia. The system was shattered with the March Constitution, as now would have meant that the Reichstag had the power to call a vote of confidence on the Prussian minister-president. The election of Matthias Asberger, progressive Southern Catholic, was the last straw and led to Prussian decoupling, since which they have had their own minister-presidents. It seems that this decoupling was short-lived, however, as the Reichskanzler has become the minister-president yet again, for brief or for long. Oh, I know. Oop. Yeah, that's surprise there. Number of major businessmen in Ukraine have come together in a state-sponsored plan to buy the majority share of the Prussian Eastern Railways, a subsidiary of the Prussian State Railway, which operates the majority of the railways in Ukraine. With this transaction, the ownership of the railways transferred to the Ukrainian Railway Corporation, admittedly with a still sizable portion of German private ownership. Okay. I don't know if that's going to be good in the long term for our control in Ukraine, but in the short term, I will very much take that. Oh, Jesus, we need more investment now. Okay, neither side will win. I'm honestly okay with that. Ever since the U.S. Congress designated the second Sunday of May as Mother's Day in 1914, as a sign of love and reverence for the mothers of the world, this American tradition has slowly gained traction across the Atlantic. After the end of Weltkrieg, the Association of German Flower Shop Owners, Verband Deutscher Blumengeschäftsinhaber, took advantage of this as a marketing tactic, promoting the date to raise flower sales in May. The liturgical emphasis on the original vision of the holiday also earned the support of original conservative groups, who considered it a viable alternative for International Women's Day, initiated by socialist organizations. Movements calling to make an official holiday earned traction in the German Empire in the 1920s and 30s. Alongside business owners, conservative societies, and women's rights activists, The campaign in Germany was also endorsed by folkish groups who connect the idea of Mother's Day with their far-right ideals of a loyal, childbearing mother who is the future of the Germanic master race. The opponent of Kurt von Schleicher, a patriotic, nationalist Reich chancellor who nevertheless displays a progressive streak, has uplifted the hopes of this activist campaign, and numerous letters have reached Berlin requesting him to finally make Mother's Day a national holiday. The empire has seen better days. Perhaps a small propaganda victory will cause no harm. Let future generations know that Schleicher respects women more than anyone. He respects women. He's not a gamer. We could start negotiating debt restructuring. That might be potentially okay. Although I'm looking at this and this seems nice. Builds free infrastructure across the country. At the end of a turn, 200 of each will be dealt for every building construction during the turn. Let's do that. It's actually going to take a while, though. These are all pretty short, at least relatively, but... let's work on negotiating debt restructuring. Say investment in economic recovery programs inevitably come with a cost that someone needs to pay, which so far we have been able to cover with short and long-term debts. This cannot last, however. We need to start negotiating with domestic and international lenders to delay payments and restructure our debts to prevent a fiscal crash. All right. What do we got? A liquidity crisis. Works beautifully for this. Cooperative businesses, see what other cards we can get. Assistance from Eastern Reichspakt. That'll get us mostly there, but we don't quite have it in the economy. I'll hold off on that. This will help more instability, which is where we're struggling at. We'll do that. And we'll do that. Aid to Sichuan province. Yeah, sure. Alright, so we have these guys. They haven't gotten anyone. Okay, so they're going after the left. The minority bloc. These guys are going after the LVP left. Zentrum left? Yeah, Zentrum left. Zentrum left has more seats, so I'll focus more on them. Meanwhile, more artillery. Let's get that going. And then... Espresso industry is better, I think. We'll do that. Spell no coup. Will that be okay for us? They'll appeal for German support if they do that. Oh, the times could definitely be better for the Zentrum Party, the main representation of Catholic leadership in the German parliamentary politics. For many years of aimless leadership under the moderate Rhenish wing, 2 mediocre election results in 31 and 36, and the collapse of several government cabinets with government participation. With Zentrum participation over the last few years, Zentrum chairman Theodor von Gerard has officially announced his retreat from its leadership of this party. Party conference, the first in many years, is due to be called in the near future, and politically interested observers are convinced that this will be one of fierce inter-party internal confrontations. Throughout the last decade, new factions within Germany's oldest political party have sprung up like mushrooms and are willing to seize power and lead the party onto a new political course. The question will be, what political wing will come out on top? Who will lead the Catholic juggernaut next? Well, Zentrum means in a succession crisis, no Zentrum factions can be protected from targeting attempts by opposite coalitions. Oh. Well, we'll cover them for one round at least. Oh. So much for that protection. God damn it. Scathing criticism by Reich Chancellor has been developed in national newspapers by Ewald von Kleist-Schmetzen, the Oberpresident of Pomerania. From his office in Stettin, he denounced Schleicher's lack of principles and the heartless pragmatism which will bring no new vision of the German Empire, merely a mockery cobbled up from 100 competing ideas to him. The Reich Chancellor is a liberalist tactician, unprincipled opportunist. Geronden. One day he acts as nearly a syndicate before trade unions in the Rhineland, now that he denounces those same ideals as he plots with business owners and puppet bureaucrats. Such a man can never reinvigorate the German nation, merely drag it down deeper. The words of this rising star among German conservatives has traveled far. A well-connected East Elbian aristocrat and leader in the Pomeranian agrarian movement, Kleist Schmeisen represents a new Juncker generation. Has already been considered by the conservatives as a potential candidate for Prussian minister-president or even Reich Chancellor. Sentiment towards Schleicher is shared by the DKP in particular, who chosen this week to finally announce for its core alliance with DVLP will continue in the Reichstag as well. It's easy for him to attack in his comfy Stettin office. Shit. Well, should not have targeted those guys, I guess. Well, shit. They're about to take over next turn, unless we explicitly block them. Well, there's no point in protecting the... You know, let's just focus on the economy. You know, Freiwillige Arbeitsdienst. The first priority of the new government is to make sure that as few German citizens starve on the streets as possible. We establish a voluntary labor service to accept and feed the unemployed, employ them in menial, work-intensive labor across the empire, improve infrastructure while giving our unemployed a helping hand. Well, liquidity crisis. Let's get that going. Beautiful. Boom. Boom. And with that, the Zentrum Party Conference nominates Stegefeld. This week's Zentrum Conference convenes its party conference in the city of Essen, in the heart of the Ruhr, a known hotbed of the power Christian trade union movement. Quite fittingly, the board has already nominated a candidate that has come from a trade union background and who, according to observers, has an undeniably high chance of winning. Adam Stegefeld, the most influential representative of the party's labor wing for several decades, and since recently the leader of Zentrum's parliamentary faction in the Reichstag. However, while Stegefeld enjoys enormous influence and sway within Zentrum's party board, parliamentary factions, and among the Christian trade unions, he is viewed with skepticism by the church, Catholic interest groups, and middle-class organizations who felt Stegefeld might be too divisive and not a proper leading figure for one of the empire's most diverse political parties. His opponents perceive him as power-hungry and anti-clerical, and his questionable support for Reich Chancellor Schleicher's Querfront concept has made him many enemies. Thus, many Zentrum delegates at the conference loudly demand that Stegefeld should only be able to run for chairman under one condition. He has to resign as parliamentary leader in the Reichstag. The trade union behemoth negotiate with his opponents under these circumstances. We'll have him offer to negotiate, I suppose. I need another card. Canceler in the radio. Just give us more debt, sure. Okay, so this is from Eastern Reichspakt. That works. Despite as many, Stegefeld has proven himself willing to make concessions to his party's internal opposition. However, harsh protests of the United Federation of Christian Trade Unions, the trade union-aligned representatives in the Zentrum Party board, has put an end to these negotiations before they could even start. In their eyes, the broad opposition against Stegefeld's leading role within the party is nothing less than a serious affront to the German working class. Thus, the trade unions have announced to refuse any kind of further cooperation as long as the demands of the Christian working class remain unheard. Stegefeld himself has also been harshly criticized by some of his own associates for being weak enough to even consider negotiating with his enemies in the first place. The situation for Stegefeld and the party itself is looking increasingly dire. To mediate between the entrenched fronts of less anti-clerical and interconfessional Catholic working associations, have agreed to broker compromise. They claim that skepticism towards Stegefeld is not an affront to the working class, but a natural reaction to Stegefeld's power-hungry behavior. A solution they advocate for the establishment of compromise, triumvirate leadership, consisting of Stegefeld, their own candidate, Josef Jos, and the moderate Rhenish party leader, Hugo Morning. Such a constellation will leave Stegefeld in charge of the parliamentary faction, but drastically weaken his influence within the party board. You know, he will accept the triumvirate. And you all will have to accept that. I need to end this video here. Thanks always for watching, gang. Like, so if you liked, dislike, if you didn't, leave in comments, feedback down in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get, and I appreciate any all feedback you might have for me. Check out my various links down in the description box below. I think you all know the deal by now. Thank you all for watching. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.